Hello, I'm trying to understand some basics of JavaScript, Node.js, and Angular 2 web development, but I am a C programmer, and well, in the world of C programming, everything is statically compiled, and JavaScript is a dynamically typed language, so I'm having some adjustment. So this is my machine, and right now, following the docs I found on the internet, I have, let us see, Node 710, Angular CLI of this one, and lastly, TSC, which is the Typescript transpiler. That's one. So the path of these executables, for example, Node, it's there. ING. So they are globally installed. So, and those are the versions. So the thing that is different in the JavaScript world is that this language is interpreted and dynamic. So there's a little bit confusion here, because if you're doing a C programming or C++ or even Java, this world is dynamically, statically typed, and there's a lot of adjustments. So let us try to understand some things here. I will create a directory, learn. Okay, this is an empty directory, and for example, let us create a simple program, hello world, in JavaScript. And there, run that using Node. Node is the runtime for JavaScript in the backend, Node. And so we see hello world. You can even do a for loop after that. I is less than 10. Counting I. There. All right, so that seems to be a basic in JavaScript. With the additional caveat that JavaScript might look simple, but if you program long enough in JavaScript, you will start to notice that the scoping of the variables is different, and the asynchronous nature of JavaScript is also different than in traditional C programming, because the flow of programming in JavaScript is not top to bottom. There are asynchronous calls that will be a little confusing to trace or debug, and not obvious when you're just looking at code, because again, the code flow is not top to bottom. Some callbacks might get invoked later on, and that might throw you off. And because of the nature of the callback, the variables there, the scoping of the variables, there's an adjustment in that area. So, but I will not dig deep on that peculiarity of JavaScript. But well, let's start simple. So now that is JavaScript, let us start now with TypeScript. Okay, so up to, and the extension of TypeScript is TS. Let us create a hello world program in TypeScript. And that's it. We now have a TypeScript program, and the content of that is this one. The extension is PS. And this is the trick here. You cannot run TypeScript source code yet, because the nature of TypeScript is that it needs to be converted into JavaScript. And then it is actually that JavaScript, that converted JavaScript, that you will execute using Node. And that is the purpose of the TSC command, this guy here. TEC is the TypeScript transpiler. So take note of the term transpilation. It is not actually compilation. Compilation is converting to machine code, or in a more byte or machine code, but transpilation is converting from one source code language to another source code language. So we cannot run the TypeScript source code now. We need to transpile that first. So we will transpile it now, tsc up to .ts. There. And the transpiled result is now this third file here, the same file name, but this time with a JavaScript extension. So let us view the transpiled result. And it's the same, because TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. So it can understand JavaScript and much more. So let us now try to use the more powerful feature of TypeScript, which are, for example, this one, class component one. And then I will just use a constructor because I want to print something when this object is created. There. So, well, JavaScript also supports classes in the newer ECMA standard, but we will not yet delve into that. Let's just focus on TypeScript. There. Now let us transpile the source code again. TSC done. Let us look at the transpiled code, the converted to JavaScript. And so they no longer look exactly the same. And you can see now that the class declaration of the TypeScript source code is now converted into this var component JavaScript style of object orientation. So, and let us run node up to .js. Yeah. This one is for the hello world here. Let us try to create an object then. Var O new component one. There. And perhaps a method, F1. You'll notice that TypeScript still uses console.log, same as in JavaScript. And then invoke the function, just like how you do it in C++, Java, or C#. Then we transpile again. Take note and remember that we cannot directly run the TypeScript. Oh, and so we find an error in line 9, indentation 17, console.log. There, transpile again. Sorry, it's supposed to be TypeScript. Success. Let us look at that transpile code and run it using Node interpreter. Right, so this one is from the constructor. When the object was created using the new, we need to create an object, and this one is when we call the function. So there. So the concept of transpilation is the conversion from one source code format to another source code, and that is different from compilation. Okay, so let us now go to the to some nasty part here. Let us delete all of this. Um, let us create a um, main app.ts, and I will import a component one from component one. No, from app two there. Then I will instantiate an object var o new component one and call it o.f1. So this time we have a separate application main app.ts that is trying to reusing the component that is in app 2. Let's try. I will delete all the JavaScript because this is okay. So this is so let us review. All right, so let us run. Let us transpile the main application. Is not a module. All right, so main app.ts. It is not a module. Okay. All right, so this is now the beginning of my some things that we need to learn here. Um, yep. We need to export. We need to export that so that it can be reused outside of it. There. And if you also notice, transpiling the main .ts also created a JavaScript equivalent of the dependencies. Like since it needed app2.ts, then the component inside is so this one is also generated. Let's delete all JavaScript and do the transpile again. We are only transpiling the main app.ts, but it actually also generated the GS of the dependencies. Um, let us delete again. For example, if we have another file, f1.ts, and since f1.ts is not part of any, if not if it's not used in the main.app, if we transpile this one, we should not be expecting to see the JavaScript transpiled version of f1.ts. Yep, because this is not part of the, it was not used in the main app.ts. Now let us try to view the transpiled version and run it using Node interpreter and the GS version. All right, and so we are actually seeing this constructors twice here because we are using also, when we require the component here, we're also actually creating a subprogram inside there, and this in effect was also run, even this hello world was run. So when we require an entire this whole file, even though we only require this one, in effect the instructions outside of this class get executed. Of course, you don't want that to happen. Those are side effects, albeit not intended, but we can comment this one because now we are only exporting the object. So transpile again. And there, everything looks clean now. So that's it, the basic of JavaScript and the concept of transpilation. And to summarize, Node is the interpreter that we use to run JavaScript source code. PSC is the transpiler that we use to convert a file in the TS format into a JavaScript, and it is actually that converted JavaScript that we feed into the Node interpreter in order to execute the program. We cannot directly run the TypeScript source code, since a TypeScript source code is intended to be converted to a JavaScript. And what else? The other one was, of course, ng, which is not used, currently not used right now. Ng is for Angular 2 skeleton helper tool, command line helper tool that helps us to create all the needed folder structure and necessary files to create a Angular 2 initial application scaffolding. That's all for now, and I will continue in my next series on node modules and deeper into how we require objects. I am learning as I go, so bear with me. I will be creating some mistakes, but I am actually in the process of learning as well. Thank you.